Hey friends, it's me, Pastor Doug, with another word of encouragement for the day for today, Wednesday, March 31st. And today's word comes out of Matthew chapter 26. We're going to start in verse 6 and read all the way through verse 13. And in it, we're exploring another event that took place during Holy Week, during that week between the day that Jesus entered into the city of Jerusalem on Palm Sunday and the day that he was crucified. And on this particular day, many scholars believe this event might have actually taken place on Wednesday. And we read this: while Jesus was in Bethany, in the home of Simon the leper, a woman came to him with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume, which she poured on his head as he was reclining at the table. When the disciples saw this, they were indignant. They said, "Why this waste? This perfume could have been sold at a high price and the money could have been given to the poor." Jesus responds to them. He says, "Why are you bothering this woman? She's done a beautiful thing to me." Now remember that phrase, she's done a beautiful thing. We're going to come back to that. "The poor you will always have with you, but you will not always have me. When she poured this perfume on my body, she did it to prepare me for burial. Truly, I tell you," Jesus says, "wherever this gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her." Let's stop there. And isn't that true? I mean, here we are 2,000 years later, and that story is still being told of this woman coming into this dinner party and pouring this expensive jar of perfume all over Jesus. Jesus saw it as being predictive and prophetic of his burial that would be happening in just a few days, that the disciples still didn't fully, completely comprehend and understand, but Jesus certainly did. So for him, this act of worship was beautifully prophetic because it predicted what was going to be happening to Jesus. But in another way, Jesus says it's beautiful because of this, because it was extravagant. I think that's the reason that Jesus says that what she did was a beautiful thing, because it was an extravagant expression of her gratitude. And for Jesus, that's a beautiful thing. Anytime you and I display an extravagant gratitude for what God has done in our lives, I believe that that is a beautiful thing. Friends, here's how I want to challenge you this morning. We live in a culture that's pretty laid back, especially if you live here in Ventura County. It's pretty laid back, pretty relaxed. You know, we're an hour away from LA, and LA's crazy, and people drive crazy in LA. But you know, here in Ventura, people are relaxed, people are laid back, people are chill. But here's the reality. I wonder if sometimes that laid back attitude doesn't seep into our worship and seep into our relationship with the Lord, where even our worship becomes a little laid back. You know, we've got the latte in one hand and the hand up, you know, as we're singing to Jesus, and we give him some of our life, but not really all of our life. You know, those people are fanatics, and we don't want to be weird, right? But I wonder if, the example that this woman sets is a pretty fanatical example. It's a pretty radical example. It's a pretty extravagant example. She comes in with this jar of perfume that might have cost an entire year's worth of wages, and she pours it all out as an expression of worship all over Jesus. And Jesus calls that extravagant expression of worship beautiful. Friends, may you and I worship in such a way. May you and I express our gratitude to Jesus in such a way, in such an extravagant way this week, that Jesus looks at it and says, "That was beautiful." Friends, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.